Even though I've been off trail, 3-4 months, I still drink coffee. I still sleep on the floor. You're the first people I told. I sleep on the floor, on my pad with my quilt every night. Hey everybody, this is part 2 of my Appalachian Trail preparation series. Today I want to talk about money. How much does it cost? What are ways to save money? What are ways to stretch that dollar? Those are some of the things I want to go over today. Okay, so looking at my list here, a big way to save money is the idea of hostels versus hotels. Hotels are more expensive. There is no question about that. Some people don't like hostels. Some people get a bad impression of hostels. I don't know. I never really thought one way or the other about it. I thought I'd always reserve judgment for when I got there. But hostels are where it's at. Hostels are where the culture is, the people. I met my tramley at hostels, both my tramleys at hostels. I did go to hotels. We did go to hotels. But usually only if hostels weren't available, So, or if a hotel had services that we needed. Hostels, you're going to pay, and so you're going to save a lot of money. You can get a bunk for like $25-$30 a night. You could get a private room in some of these hostels for, depending on how many beds there are in there. Like if there's 2 beds, you probably wouldn't pay more than $40 or $50. Depends again on the hostel. Some of them have different services. Some of them offer laundry, cooking. Some don't. Some offer camping, which is probably your cheapest bet. Generally, you pay around $10 or $15 a night for camping in a town, at a hostel. But, budget-wise, you have to decide hostel versus hotel. All the culture, you're going to find mostly at the hostels. So I would suggest that if you want to immerse yourself in the entire experience of the trail, do go at least see some hostels, and you will save money. More on that regarding money. My primary concept that I want to put across in this video is that you're going to spend money anyway. You spend money at home for eating, etc. The only thing that you're spending extra money for really on trail is accommodations that you wouldn't be paying for at home. You're saving money on gas because you're not driving unless you're taking shuttles and stuff. Those are really the only incidental things you're going to do. And even those you're only going to do maybe 4 or 5 times a month, depending on your habits. We generally went a few days at a time in between towns, in between, zeros. In my budget, personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but I spent quite a bit more, I think, than most people. I probably spent maybe just over $1,000 a month total. And that included everything. That was food, that was like hostels, that was shuttles, just about everything, except maybe extra gear, which I'm going to go over in a minute. Well, actually, let's do it now. A big expense on the trail, believe it or not, are shoes. I personally went through 6 pair of shoes on trail. Now, mind you, 1 pair I only had for one day. So we'll say 5. Let's just say 5. And with the Canadian dollar, 35 cents on the extra that I pay for each dollar, I probably spent, I would say $1,200 on shoes on the trail over 6 months. And it's a couple of $100 a month. That's something to consider in your costs. But ways to save money. Don't go to restaurants as much. And join a tramley. Get involved with a tramley. I was with a tramley most of the time I was on trail. And it was mostly 4 of us. 4 of us that traveled together. Cheeseball, Fox, Roadrunner, and I. And splitting a room, even if we couldn't get a hostel, splitting a room wasn't bad between 4 of us. And then we would go resupply, and We could buy like one thing of toilet paper that had 4 rolls in it, and then just hand one out to each. So we would share. We would share stuff. I'd get Uncrustables. One of the girls would get Uncrustables, and we'd split them, amongst 4 of us. Or maybe we wanted to change it up. Maybe 2 of us wanted something different, and we wanted to try something else, and we would go in on it together. These are all ways you can save money. You can split on your laundry. You can split on your resupply. You can split on shuttles. You can split on hostels or hotels or whatever. And it just makes it a lot more enjoyable and a lot cheaper. I mean, it's going to cost money no matter what you do. But these are just some of the ways you can save some money. Also, up in the Whites, there's a card that you can buy. You become a member of the Green Mountain Appalachian Trail. Is it GMATC? Anyway, that's what they're called, Green Mountain. And each year for $10, they sell a card. And there's the list of all the little shelters around the outside of the card. And each one you go to, you can get like free food there. I got muffins. I got pancakes one time. Trying to remember. I got coffee, little pastries, like a variety of stuff. Also got to tent at one of those shelters on a tent pad, a nice wooden one. Both of us were on it. And so it's a good deal, $10. That's another way to save some money right there, for sure. You can hitchhike as well. That saves money. We didn't do that very often, but we did hitchhike sometimes. Sometimes just for fun, sometimes because we had no other option. So yeah, there are ways to save money on trail. Another way to save money on trail is to have people send you boxes on the trail. If you do that, however, have the boxes sent to the hostel that you're going to. Most hostels will hold boxes longer. They're just easier to deal with, easier to manage. I've had stuff come late to a hostel, and all I had to do was call them and ask them, and they would bounce the package on up the trail for me. Hostels really are the best. But having boxes sent to you, having stuff bought in bulk or cheaper because it's from, generally when you're out on the road, you're spending more money. So having people send you supplies while you're on the trail would save you some money. You could dehydrate your own food, for example, and save money that way, and just have a loved one or somebody send you stuff as you go down the trail. That would be a big thing for sure. Anyways, these are some of the ideas just to save money, on laundry, on supplies, on gear, on shuttles. These are the times you're going to spend money. Basically, stay at towns. The minute you go in town, you're spending money. Stay out of the towns. Stay out of the bars. Don't do what I did. Stay out of the bars. Basically, don't do what I did. Or, stay out of the liquor stores and have that extra drink at the bar or whatever have you. I mean, that's just the way I roll, I guess. I don't know. Another way to save money on trail is something that some of the hostels offer, and that is work for stay. It varies from hostel to hostel, just to what they'll let you do. But generally what it is you can stay at the hostel as long as for free, as long as you're willing to work around the hostel, doing whatever chores they give you to do, and for how long they choose to ask you to do it. Some of them only allow a couple of nights. Some of them only allow a couple of hikers per night or per visit. Like I say, each one of them would have their different set of rules for that. But that is another alternative, another option that you could possibly check into about saving money on trail.